did not now hear her sister Victoria calling her name or see her running across the field that led to the wood, waving a letter. Only when Victoria arrived at her side and put a hand on her shoulder, trying to catch her breath, did Justina realize that she was there. Victoria looked at the painting. "That's beautiful," she said when she could speak. "I wish I could paint like you, but I wouldn't wear such a paint-spattered smock. Really, you should throw it away." Victoria plumped herself on the ground next to the stool. "Look, a letter from Peter." She waved it at her sister. Justina dropped her paintbrush. "Really? What does it say?" She loved Peter's letters. There were always descriptions of some aspect of his life that sounded so different from the mundane world of Surrey. "He wants me to go and visit him." Victoria handed over the sheets of paper, and Justina scanned them eagerly. "Fancy his commanding officer's wife inviting you to stay with them!" Justina exclaimed. "Did you note his comment that you will get on very well with Mary, their daughter? Hasn't he written about her before? Do you think he wishes to make an offer for her?" Victoria shrugged. "How can one tell?" She arranged the folds of her muslin skirt neatly around her legs. "When are you going?" "Oh, Justina, I don't want to go." "Not want to visit India?" Justina could hardly believe her ears. "But think of everything we have heard about from Peter. The elephants, the strange flowers, and the trees, the mountains and the rivers, the incredible palaces, the glorious landscapes, and the spices. Think of the insects, the snakes, the heat." Justina looked down at the letter she held. "Peter says it will be very exciting. Lots of parties and junketings." She smiled at her sister. "I cannot possibly leave England now," Victoria said with a catch in her breath. She glanced demurely up at her sister through her eyelashes. "You do understand?" "No," Justina replied bluntly. She had a very deep voice. Her father loved it and said it was very soothing to listen to. But one or two of the young men she had met had seemed a little taken aback when they first heard her. "Teddy!" exclaimed Victoria. "You mean he's going to propose?" Justina asked, her voice rising in excitement. Edward Bathurst was a dashing young officer Victoria had met during her season. Nearly 2 years older than Justina, she had come out a year before her. Victoria was very pretty, and she had a number of young men paying her attention. But Edward was the most persistent. Victoria flushed, looked down at her skirt, and made a few pleats in the material. He said he was going to approach Papa." Justina gazed at her sister, her expression doubtful. "Vicky, are you certain Teddy is what you want?" Edward was very pleasant, but Justina did not find him at all exciting. "What do you mean?" Victoria bridled. He is the most fantastic man. That's what Elizabeth thought about Philip." "Justina, how can you compare Teddy with Philip?" Justina picked up her sketchbook and looked at the half-finished painting. "Vicky, is love really as wonderful as they say?" "Oh," Victoria sighed and lay back amongst the bluebells. "I cannot tell you how thrilling it is." Justina looked at the blonde curls that tangled with the blue of the flowers. People said to her that she must envy her sister's hair. Her own was copper-coloured and curled far too strongly to be wound into ringlets. "Tell me all about love," Justina demanded. "Did your heart beat faster the moment you met Edward?" "Not at first. I thought he was very good-looking, but so were lots of the other men I met. But gradually he seemed to, I realized that it was him I wanted to call on me, him I wanted to talk to, him who, yes, made my heart beat faster." Victoria turned over onto her stomach, picked a bluebell and started removing the little bells. "You cannot describe love," she murmured dreamily. "You just know when it comes along." "How do you know?" "You can only think of the one person, and when your eyes meet you get this funny, wonderful feeling in the bottom of your stomach." She blushed. "It is so exciting, and also a little frightening." "Frightening?" "It is almost as if something in you is going to erupt, like a volcano." Justina was astonished. It all sounded